Are you tired of trying to carry your inting, brain-dead, possibly armless teammates? Are you one of these ranks and want to actually start making a difference in the games that you play? Well, worry no more. I have sifted through the Kiriko guides, the VODs, and more tips and tricks videos than you can possibly imagine. I've played support from bronze all the way up to top 500, and I'm here to combine my vast well of knowledge with the small amount of useful tips that I've absorbed from consuming so much Kiriko content. So buckle up. You're about to learn how to stop being useless and start making an impact in the games that you play. You'll learn new tech, new playstyles, how to actually use your kit, and settings to change that you've never even touched. And before I start rapidly expanding your mind with my endless sea of wisdom, you need to realize the most important part of climbing rank. The secret technique to winning more games. All you have to do to rank up in Overwatch is get better at the game. That's right, it's not your teammates. It's not some secret behind the scenes matchmaking AI that is out to make sure that you lose. All you have to do is get better, and I am gonna teach you how. Now that you know this info, it's time to throw away the ego and time to start making you a better Kiriko player. Speaking of Kiriko, one of, if not the most versatile support to ever exist. This powerhouse has no weaknesses, does absolutely everything, and can counter any play that you can think of. She even comes with a microscopic hitbox. I mean, look at this poor bronze player. He can't even hit her. But more often than not, Kiriko players will healbot all game and do the bare minimum, expecting their teammates to do the rest for them. You have no idea how much brain damage I receive after hearing my 500 damage, 12k healing Kiriko start flaming the tank. Speaking of damage, Kiriko does a lot of it. Holding left and right click at the same time gives you the best overall healing damage combo for Kiri, which is heal, shoot, shoot. However, the best combo for pure healing is heal, shoot, heal, shoot. You should always be shooting in between your healing bursts, and you should always be aiming at hit level, since Kiriko has an insane 2.5 times headshot multiplier. A kunai headshot is the difference between, oops, I took 45 random spam damage, and oh my god, I just lost half of my health. While it is really good to get kills with Kiriko's kunai, they're also great at forcing out cooldowns. One well-placed headshot on a squishy can easily force out an ability that they wouldn't have used otherwise. I've seen Anas panic and use their nades on themselves after getting hit with a cross-map kunai countless times. Or tracers recalling after a single kunai headshot. The more cooldowns you get out, the less damage your team will take from them, which is basically healing if you think about it. Speaking of healing, Kiriko does a lot of it. First off, you're going to want to change her toggle healing Afuda setting to off. Usually just tapping your heal button once will send out all of your Afudas, but changing this setting will allow you to hold down your heal to control how many you send out. Sometimes teammates don't need your entire burst of Afudas, so changing this setting allows you to switch to your kunai or abilities much faster. One thing to remember is that Kiri's heals are projectiles, which means that they're stopped by enemy shields and abilities that absorb projectiles like Sigma's Suck or Diva's DM. So if your teammate is sitting in a shield dying, please, just tell them to move out of it. So many times I'll see a tank sitting in a Winston bubble spamming X, expecting me to either risk my life and jump in with them, or bend reality and send my Afudas straight through the shields. And even if your papers turn yellow, which means they're locked onto a teammate, they will not go through walls or shields to reach them. A side tip is that your swift step indicator is about the same distance that your papers can immediately lock onto. And even if your papers get sent out as blue, they can still lock onto people who walk in front of them. So you can actually heal farther than your indicator shows. So don't give up on someone just because you think your healing won't reach them. One setting for your left and right click is to swap them. This is up to preference, but I had trouble remembering to actually deal damage, so I swapped the two and now it just feels natural. Now onto her cooldowns, which are both insane abilities. There's a reason why she's been S tier in every season since her creation. Swift Step is a great repositioning tool and should be used to escape danger, not to save teammates. Too often I'll see a Kiriko Swift Step onto somebody and Suzu them. While they might have saved their teammate's life in the moment, the Kiriko will probably die pretty quickly as she's unkillable because of her abilities. Like, look at this clip in the background. What am I even supposed to be doing here? She's got teleport every 3 seconds. If you have to TP to somebody and Suzu them, that's your fault for not positioning correctly, not your teammate's fault for inting. Okay, maybe it's a little bit their fault. Now, it is okay to TP to someone and Suzu them if they're in a relatively safe position and they're in danger. Like if someone's getting killed by a flanker or somebody's in a 1v1. Just use context clues when deciding when and when not to TP Suzu. If you will die, don't do it. If you might die, but it will save your teammate who has a game-winning ultimate, then do it. Use your critical thinking skills and start making your own choices and testing which ones work and which ones don't. Now, a good setting to change for Swift Step is its sensitivity. Usually I just use TP to escape danger. The specific person I teleport to doesn't really matter, so having a larger lock-on area can't hurt. So go into settings and change your Swift Step sensitivity to 100%. And make sure when you're teleporting out of danger, you don't just teleport to the closest teammate to you. You will most definitely be sent back to spawn, but we'll get into how to position later. Now, one important thing to know about her TP is that it cleanses you. So if you get pulse bombed or anti-naded and no one else on your team is affected, sometimes just teleporting to safety is a better trade than using your Suzu on just yourself, as Suzu is one of the best abilities in the game. I swear to God, this little bell is solely responsible for ruining 98% of my plays. This thing negates it all. Doom Punch, Rhine Pin, Discord, anti-nades, Sun Blast. If it's in the game and does anything at all, this bell will counter it. In fact, here's a list of things that Suzu can counter. Wow! What a fun ability. To get the most out of Suzu, all you gotta do is think ahead. Does your tank keep getting antied? Save Bell for it. Junker Queen about to ult. Save Bell for it. Outside of countering ults, his ability is also great for everything else. It's a fantastic mistake corrector if your teammates are being a little too silly. Not only does it negate damage, but it also heals anyone hit by it for 80 instant healing, and that bumps up to 115 if it cleanses them. Now, what counts as a cleanse? Well, I'm glad you asked. Basically everything in the game. Onanade, JQ Bleed, Venom Mine, Dynamite, any stun in the game that isn't a knockdown, Sombra Hack, Zen Discord, and the DPS roll passive to name a few. Basically anything that lasts longer than an instant counts as a cleanse. Now, saving Suzu for big cleanses is great and all, but if your teammate is inting and critical, Suzuing them to save their life is much more important in that instance than saving for something not super threatening. Use your brain ability when it's not on cooldown to decide what takes priority on what to save Suzu for, and don't hold on to it for too long. If your teammate is going to die, don't wait. Throwing Suzu actually takes time. It's not a hit scan, surprise, surprise. So if you hesitate, your teammate might get a Suzu on their dead body by the time you've made your decision. Also keep in mind that this ability is a projectile just like her healing of does, meaning it can be eaten by things like Defense Matrix and Six Suck and is blocked by shields. Now, one major difference between good Kirikos and not so good Kirikos is, surprise surprise, being able to use the best ability in the game correctly. Is your Doomfist stunned in the enemy backline with no cooldowns or ult? You should probably Suzu them. Is your Moira being a little silly in the enemy backline? Well, she probably has Fade, so don't Suzu her. Is your tank antied at half health but behind cover in a safe position? They're fine. Being able to actually think and use context clues is very important to using Suzu correctly. All you have to do is just pay a little more attention to your teammates. Now, even though this ability provides insane value to your team, don't be afraid to use it on yourself if you're in danger and don't have your teleport. Sometimes your life is worth more than a 15-second cooldown. Sometimes. Something else that can save your life is your wall climb. Too many Kirikos never use this, but as soon as you teleport anywhere, you should check for any high grounds you can easily climb to. Wall climb combined with her other two abilities can make good Kirikos absolute nightmares to deal with, as they become effectively immortal. And last but not least, Kitsune Rush, one of the best ultimates in the game. As soon as the enemy team starts to commit to a team fight, slap this bad boy down and run him over. Now, this ult is fantastic, but don't be afraid to use it as soon as you think you need it. If you're in an even fight that is losable, use your ult. If you're at a slight disadvantage and need that extra bit of leverage to tilt the fight in your favor, use your ult. Even though it's fantastic, it is not a miracle worker. It will not win you 2v5, so please don't waste it on lost fights. And for the love of God, please, just aim your ultimate. Too many Kirikos panic, slap Q, and launch their game-winning ultimate straight into a wall. Even some payloads can stop it. Just taking that extra half second to aim it down a hallway or choke can be the difference between a team wipe and a team wipe. And just because you can shoot faster doesn't mean you should only shoot. Too many Kirikos only worry about getting kills during their ult and hardcore tunnel vision onto a target. Not only is your kunai rate of fire increased by 50%, but your healing is too. So heal. Now on to the fun part, play styles. Since Kiriko is such an overtuned character, you can get value from just sitting behind your tank, staying alive, and holding down your mouse buttons. But as discussed earlier, you can indirectly heal your teammates by taking pressure off of them. If you're behind the enemy team, the longer you're there and the more annoying you are, the more the enemy team will be forced to deal with you, which takes away attention from your teammates. Let's say that a Batiste and a soldier turn around to try and deal with you. For every second that you stay alive and annoy them, that is 430 damage that isn't going directly into your team. And that's just by distracting two people. If you get the enemy tank's attention and they use cooldowns to try and kill you, guess what? That gives your tank and your team the opportunity to push up and take free space. The key to doing this correctly involves just two things: getting into position before the fight actually starts, and escaping with your life. It doesn't matter if you can only get in a few shots before you're forced to leave. The more you try to be annoying as Kiriko, the better you'll get at it. Hitting headshots is great and all, but now that Kiri's 2-tap is gone, getting kills has lost priority to being as annoying as humanly possible. In fact, the amount you annoy the enemy team is directly correlated to the amount of value you're getting. And this applies to every support. Now, if your other support is one that can't heal that much, then you'll probably want to crank the flanking silliness back a little bit, but this depends on the game. You'll just have to get used to juggling between healing and doing damage. The last thing your teammates will want to hear is, "Oh, sorry I couldn't heal you, I was flanking," because in their mind that is a stupid thing to do. You are a healer, you should be healing them. So be careful not to spend too much time behind the enemy. Also keep in mind, it does not matter what value you think you're getting. Staying alive takes priority, so please don't int your brains out. Also, getting back to the whole getting into position before the fight starts thing, you need to get into the habit of constantly thinking where to position as soon as you get downtime. So many players, no matter the role or character, just sit and do nothing as soon as the fight is over. Here's a tip: stop doing nothing. As Kiriko, it's okay to start the fight off in an aggressive place because you can just TP out as soon as you get scared. Now, when I say an aggressive place, that does not mean directly in the middle of the choke. Think about the silliest spot you could be in, a spot that the enemy team wouldn't even think to check. Shoot, even in top 500 games, I'll see players just walk by very obvious places that someone could be in. As long as the enemy doesn't see you walk there and the spot will end up behind where the team fight takes place, it's probably a decent spot. And this ties directly into the positioning crash course. Here is my high budget presentation on where to be as Kiriko during team fights. Basically, just play on the outside of the fight until your team engages onto somebody. Wow. Also make sure to have somebody a decent length away so that you have someone to TP safely to. The final tip for playing not just Kiriko but any hero in the game is to watch your replays. I promise you make tons of mistakes you don't catch mid-game. So watching your replays can be super helpful when trying to figure out what you've been doing wrong. If you can't figure out what you're doing wrong, ask somebody better than you for a VOD. If you're watching this and the video was released in the past week, I'm probably live right now. So come ask for a VOD and I'll hook you up. This is my second ever video, so thanks for watching till the end. It's also kind of a sequel to my first video, which will help anyone climb at any rank, so go check that out if you haven't already. I also read every single comment, so don't be afraid to ask a question or leave some feedback down below. And that's it. Bye bye.